the Lord for Nate Dogg and thank God for Warren G. Funny how time.
Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of my Two Satoshis. Happy Monday. It is July 22nd, 2019. Shout out to my man Wired Sparks for this one. He's got a slew of song requests, people, so you're going to see a lot of this guy in the next coming days. But this one today, Anderson .Paak, Anywhere, featuring Snoop Dogg. I like Anderson .Paak. I don't get a chance to listen to his music too much, but talented young dude. What's good, people? Hope you guys are doing well today, and welcome to another episode. Today, we are going to look at this market, kind of taking a turn down a little bit. We broke some trend lines that I drew over the weekend, so we'll take a quick peek at that. But also, we're going to look at just how bad is the U.S. crypto crackdown going to hurt Bitcoin. I personally think it may hurt it from a price perspective if they get any, amp it up any more than now. But actually stopping the technology, no way. There's no way to stop this network, this Bitcoin network. So it's going to be interesting to see what this article says, and I'll give you my two Satoshis on that. And also out of Cointelegraph, the Bitcoin network is now 8 times more powerful than it was at all-time highs. So we'll take a look at what that means for Bitcoin and what that means for you. As far as if you're invested in this technology, in this coin, what does this mean for you? And then lastly, out of CCN, Indian regulators officially proposed total cryptocurrency ban. And this kind of relates to the first article that I mentioned pertaining to how these governments are going to start really clamping down on, and what does this mean for you as a crypto investor or hodler? Does this affect you? I think it does. Honestly, I'm a cryptocurrency advocate, and that's what this YouTube channel is all about. But I'm going to give you the real. And, this is going to affect you from a price perspective, not necessarily the functionality of cryptocurrencies, or at least I should say Bitcoin. So these are just headwinds that you have to understand you're getting yourself into. Okay, we have not seen the U.S. governments really come full speed at Bitcoin so far. So if this were to happen in the United States, there would be a negative implication on the price of Bitcoin. I'm sorry, it will. Does the technology still work? Yes. Will it still continue to move along? Absolutely. But there may be a price hit if the governments here in the States, that will definitely have a negative impact on the price, but not a negative impact on the technology. So we'll take a look at all 3 of these articles here in a second. But first, I do want to give a shout out to my channel sponsors, BitcoinConfidential.cc. Check those guys out. Proof of stake privacy coin. We've also got SmartCash.cc, voted #1 crypto in Brazil in 2018. And lastly, Moon Lambo Tees. You can save 10% if you use the word Crypto Blood 10. Let's get into this heat map for today. As I stated, we're nearing 10,000 in Bitcoin, and actually I think we got below there yesterday, but we're down 1.38% on Bitcoin to $10,298. Ethereum down 1.7% to $216. Litecoin back under that $100 handle at $94.13, down 3.66%. And I've told you guys you're going to start to see a sell-off as we near the halving. And it already happened, actually. We touched last week, I think, like $80-something, almost 70 bucks on Litecoin. I think you will still see a retracement back, maybe to the $60 range or even lower. Just depends on the overall sentiment in the crypto markets. You have to understand that currently a lot of these altcoins are still highly correlated with Bitcoin. And so if Bitcoin takes a hit, ultimately these altcoins will too. EOS down 3% to $4.09, but Binance is up 3.5%. This thing is just going crazy, up to $30.70. It's been a strong move for the last few days here with Binance token. And then if we take a look at a 7-day scope, Bitcoin is down 5.4%, Ethereum down 5.4%, EOS is down 4.5%, and Litecoin is up 3.8%. Litecoin got hit hard last week for sure, so it's climbing up out of that. And then finally for the month, this gives you a really good understanding of what's going on. Bitcoin down only 3.8% versus all of the altcoins. Ethereum down 30%, EOS down 45%, Litecoin down 33%. And it really just shows in Bitcoin's dominance. I think it's around 66 or 65%, which is very high. So it just kind of shows you where the confidence is currently in the crypto markets. The markets are voting on Bitcoin at the moment. So let's take a look at this first article about just how badly will Bitcoin be affected if the U.S. crypto crackdown continues to strengthen. It says, following the U.S. Treasury, Steve Mnuchin's warning that the federal government will pursue very, very strong enforcement of existing cryptocurrency regulations, various federal agencies and self-regulatory organizations have started to take a step further in tightening oversight on the budding crypto or Bitcoin industry. It says that Secretary Mnuchin first criticized the use of crypto assets in financing illicit activities on July 15th. He stated that with the establishment of the Financial Stability Oversight Council Working Group on Digital Assets, wow, that's long, regulators will work at full capacity to combat risks are to be regulated in the same way as banks and financial institutions in the U.S., essentially warning companies to watch their backs. He said the rules governing money service providers apply to physical and electronic transactions alike. As money service businesses, cryptocurrency money transmitters are subject to compliance examinations just like every other U.S. bank. To be clear, FinCEN will hold any entity that transacts in Bitcoin, Libra, or any other cryptocurrency to its highest standard. Wow. In a regulatory notice, FINRA encouraged every member firm engaging in activities related to crypto assets to notify the organization. Firms that engage in activities related to digital assets, whether or not they are securities, are reminded to consider all applicable FINRA rules and federal and state laws, rules, and regulations. Looks like FINRA has been cooperating with the SEC to lead the approval process of broker-dealer custodians of crypto assets and said that members will have to open lines of communication on the matter throughout the short term to medium term. And so with the skeptical stance of the Trump administration towards cryptocurrencies, FINRA and the SEC are expected to implement a rigorous approval process for broker-dealers. Meanwhile, the CFTC is reportedly probing BitMEX, the world's largest crypto derivatives trading platform. Other industry giants, including Bitfinex and Tether, also remain under the regulatory spotlight. So then it poses a question here, and this is the whole meat and potatoes of this article here. Is this a good thing for Bitcoin investors? So it says all of this presents Bitcoin investors with a mixture of good and bad news. Stronger oversight of the cryptocurrency market could be seen as a proactive safeguard for retail investors and could help institutional investors become more comfortable with the industry. However, there's also concern that enhanced restrictions will hamper the industry's growth, making it more difficult for legitimate Bitcoin businesses to operate in the world's largest economy. So here's my thing. First, I have to just, comment on this. A lot of my subscribers are Trump supporters, and I am too. But for you to think that he was for Bitcoin, you really have a misunderstanding, in my opinion, of capitalism and capitalists. Trump is a capitalist. And for him, how did he make his money? He made his millions and billions of dollars from borrowing cheap money in certain periods of time and buying assets with that cheap money, leveraging the bank's money to make money. So low interest rates are good for him. He loves low interest rates. That means to service his debt is going to be very cheap. But what does that do? That hurts the middle class, working class individuals in this country. But he doesn't really care about that because he's here to make money, right? That's how he thinks. And so as a president, why would you think he is for sound money? He is for, Bitcoin and all these other. No, he's not. That doesn't mean that he's all bad. It just means that that's how he's been trained as a businessman, and that's how he's been successful. So for him to like Bitcoin would be totally against what has made him successful. Okay, a money supply where it's restricted to 21 million coins, it's deflationary. That doesn't help him. Okay, he likes investing in deflationary assets with inflationary money. So again, I don't know. Many people were kind of shocked that he came out and said that. I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked one bit, and you shouldn't be either. Now, as far as this whole, since really kind of initiated since Libra. It shows where the government priority is, and I think it's with Libra and clamping down on that project, because that to me poses the imminent danger. That's the low-hanging fruit. That's the threat that they can eliminate right away. That's the problem with any cryptocurrency that is centralized or created by one entity. On the other hand, with Bitcoin, they have no one to go after. Only thing they can go after are the on-ramps and off-ramps to fiat in that particular cryptocurrency. So yeah, they can clamp down on that. You know, they can do a lot to really make it even more expensive to operate within Bitcoin than it is in fiat. And I'm sure they will do that with all this regulatory guidance and frameworks they want to implement on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's going to ultimately add to the bottom line to these companies. And guess what? They're going to pass some, or if not all of that, over to you. So it's not even going to be justifiable to use Bitcoin as a means of a cryptocurrency, or as a means of buying or selling things, as a medium of exchange at a store or online. It just won't make sense. And that's what they want. They don't want you using any currency other than the fiat dollar. And that's why they're going after Libra. Now, if they come down on Bitcoin hard, we can't rule that out. If they do that, it will hurt the price of Bitcoin initially. That will be the knee-jerk reaction, a huge pullback in the price of Bitcoin. But it won't stop the technology. That's what you have to be sold on. Not necessarily the price, but the technology. They're not going directly at Bitcoin yet, but they could scale that up. And if they do, you have to understand those are headwinds, and don't think you can get away or escape it by going into the altcoins, because the altcoins will get slaughtered more than Bitcoin. Believe me. Just keep that in mind. Keep your risk appetite at a level where forecast in there that they're going to come down on Bitcoin. Have that in your mind so that you know how much you're going to be willing to risk in investing in this technology. But the tech isn't going anywhere, and that's what you have to understand. If you're here for speculation, it may be a bumpy road. But if you're here for the tech and you believe ultimately in the long run Bitcoin is going to be around, at least some iteration of it, that's not going anywhere. And neither is the idea of blockchain. That is out the bag. So there's hope. There definitely is hope, and I'm glad we live in this time, because it's going to be tough for the governments to really crack down on this technology in the long run. They can do things, in the short run to really hurt the price, but ultimately they can't stop it. But let's take a look at the second article out of Cointelegraph. It says Bitcoin network now 8 times more powerful than it was at $20,000. I'm assuming they're talking about the hash rate. Bitcoin now has more computing power behind its security than ever before, passing another milestone as hash rate reaches an all-time high. Data from Monitoring Resource Blockchain confirmed that the Bitcoin's network's total hash rate reached a peak of 79 terahashes per second on July 20th. Broadly accepted as a measure of how robust Bitcoin's transaction security has become, hash rate has broken multiple records in the past weeks and months. The Bitcoin network now has almost 8 times the computing power it had when the price of Bitcoin was around 20,000. Since then, regulatory pressure has seen markets dip as low as 9,100, something which failed to weigh on network performance. And this confirms what I just said in the prior article. Yes, it will affect the price, but it will not affect the tech. As you can see, the hash power, meaning the miners, the people that commit energy and time and resources to mining Bitcoin and keeping the blockchain secure, has gone up, and it has been going up through all of these Libra hearings and all of that. But you saw the price kind of take a pullback. So this is what you have to pay attention to. These are the type of numbers you need to really watch to see what's going on. If you start to see hash rate drop off significantly, then you know that people's confidence in the tech is dwindling. You just can't watch the price, people. And that's why I always give you guys blocktivity.info. This is why I always tell you about this site, because it shows you what's really going on. Their statement at the top says lots of FUD and hype are responsible for misplaced capital in the cryptocurrency space. Here we are observing which project is actually being used by people, which is, in our opinion, the best predictive indicator of value you can have. And I have to agree with them totally. And if you look here, you will see that far right corner is what you can look at as far as capacity utilization. Okay, so that's telling you how much of the network is utilized at the very moment. So Tron is at 2.3%, so very low capacity. Ken 21%, EOS is at 13, Bitcoin is at 100% capacity. So if you got 13,000 unconfirmed transactions at the moment. Ethereum 48.48% capacity, so just about at 50% capacity, and it's only doing 628,000 operations a day. So hypothetically, if you double this amount of activity, it will be at capacity. So at 1.3 million operations a day, Ethereum will be at capacity. There is no room to double this. So what would happen is unconfirmed transactions would just pile up. So we know what happened in 2017 with Bitcoin and how the network fees just shot up. Things were pending for days in many cases. That's what would happen again. But you take a look at like EOS, 17 million operations a day, and it's only at 13% capacity. So these are the things you need to look at. I know it's easy to just focus on the price, but you got to look at some of the behind the scenes stuff on these blockchains. If you're going to consider yourself to be in this space and be an expert of this, you got to know these types of things. So I know I kind of got off on a tangent there. The next article, CCN newsflash: India regulators officially propose total cryptocurrency ban. It says an Indian interministerial committee on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology has finalized a report recommending both the establishment of the digital rupee and a ban of cryptocurrencies. The roughly 200-page report spends thousands of words breaking down and praising the potential uses of blockchain technology, specifically in areas like land management. Ultimately, it concludes that while banks and financial institutions should be allowed to utilize digital ledgers, private citizens should be barred from holding and transacting with them. It includes a piece of draft legislation making it a crime to hold, buy, and sell cryptocurrencies. How about that? The proposed legislation makes room for crypto research, but bans most normal activities, including mining and holding cryptocurrencies. You're going to start seeing this, people. Very draconian type of legislation here. These are the types of things you'll see as these fiat systems start to crumble beneath their own weight and debt, honestly. It says that penalties also include fines, which seem more likely, of up to 3 times the amount a person earned. So if you somehow made 1 million in crypto, the Indian government could come after you for 3 million and so forth. So I don't know. That's crazy. Every major financial authority in India, including the Reserve Bank of India and the Security Exchange Board of India, had input on the report. If carried out, the recommendations of the act would make India the first major country to completely ban its citizens from using and holding cryptocurrencies. You're going to see more of this. You're going to see more of this. So you're going to have 2 types of countries kind of evolve and come out of this new digital crypto age. Those that are just going to straight out ban it, like looks like India's going to do, and those that embrace it. And so those who accept it will have more economic growth. It just is what it is. So this type of thing could definitely damage the price of your crypto portfolio if it were to happen here in the United States. It would definitely take a huge hit, but it would not stop the technology. So that's what we have to try to make sure we keep at least some of our focus on. But let me know your thoughts about governments around the globe clamping down on Bitcoin. Do you think it will have a massive effect on the price of Bitcoin, or do you think it won't? Do you think it will just continue to go higher? You guys let me know in the comments below. Shout out to my man Wired Sparks again for that Anderson .Paak and Snoop Dogg anywhere. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to help support this channel. And that's my 2 Satoshis for July 22nd, 2019. I'm out of here, people. Holla!